The Ben Johnson sweepstakes are officially over. Ben Johnson is signing a deal to become the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. Congratulations, Chicago. You just got a massive W. Ben Johnson has been my guy to get a head coaching gig for a long, long time. I wanted my Panthers to get him, and most recently, just a few days ago, I said Ben Johnson could save Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. But now we know Ben Johnson is a Bear in 2025, and he's got a tall task to do to make the Chicago Bears relevant for something else other than losing and a high draft pick. Ben Johnson could have had a head coaching job 2 years ago. He could have had one last year. He's the best coordinator in football, but he was waiting for the perfect time and for the perfect situation. And whatever the reason is, he feels that the time is now with the Bears. Now, we don't know what the contract is going to look like. The Bears have not said, hey, Ben Johnson is getting this kind of contract. I can guarantee you that it's going to be a multi-year deal, and it's going to be worth a lot of money because there were a lot of teams wanting to pursue the offensive coordinator from Detroit. Johnson certainly has his work cut out for him because the Chicago Bears were an absolute failure this year. Remember when people over the summer were saying, oh, the Bears are going to the playoffs this year. Caleb Williams will lead this team to at least the wild card. Yeah, 5-12 says otherwise. This team was set up for Caleb Williams to ball. I mean, it had the weapons. DeAndre Swift, a very solid running back, a three-headed monster at wide receiver, and DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Romo Doomsday, but it just didn't pan out. We saw times where the Bears looked like a middle school team with their lack of movement on the offensive side of the ball, and some of that has to go on Matt Eberflus, who got fired, and then interim head coach Thomas Brown. Neither of them were any good. They had no business ever coaching this, and they did not deserve to be around Caleb Williams. People were very critical of Caleb Williams this year, and some of it was very, very well deserved. On paper, Caleb Williams didn't play terrible. I mean, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 10 fumbles. That's not that bad for a rookie on the Chicago Bears, but he was ranked as the 27th best quarterback on the NFL's website at the end of the year. He held on the ball third most of all quarterbacks, which caused him to be sacked 68 times. He often missed opportunities to put the ball in a window. There were many times this past year where Caleb Williams just looked uncomfortable. We looked at Caleb Williams, and he didn't look like the same player that we saw at USC. There was always going to be an adjustment at the pro level, but I don't think people were really expecting what kind of adjustment that was going to take. Caleb Williams didn't look good mentally. He's got to grow this season mentally. He looked painful. Now, I'm not saying that he can't be a great quarterback. He certainly has the abilities to do so, but it's going to be so crucial to see what Ben Johnson does for this guy. He's going to first have to put a scheme in that works for Caleb. It's got to be designed for him. It cannot be the same thing that he's had in Detroit piece by piece because, number one, Jared Goff and Caleb Williams are two totally different quarterbacks, and they have two totally different playing styles, and this is a very different makeup. The offensive line in Chicago, disasters. You're going to have to build that from the ground up. There is no two-back setup like you've had with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. There are questions surrounding Ben Johnson right now, especially after Saturday night's divisional loss to the Washington Commanders. It was so bad that some people were really saying that Ben Johnson didn't deserve to be a head coach. Now, Ben Johnson had a terrible play call Saturday. The idea that you are only down 10, you're in the fourth quarter, but the idea to go to Jameson Williams, have him throw a pass just to get picked, there was no upside there. It's a cute little play if it works, but when it fails, it's detrimental. I believe this was just a bad play call. I don't think Ben Johnson is a disaster at the offensive side of the ball, nothing like that. The Lions still scored 31 points. The truth is, Jared Goff sucked. He failed Dan Campbell, he failed the Lions, and he failed Ben Johnson. I believe Ben Johnson is a great offensive mind. He's exactly what the Bears and Caleb Williams needs long term. I think that as long as Bears management lets him do his thing, take control, he's going to be a great head coach. It's sounding like he's going to be going with Dennis Allen to be the defensive coordinator, which would be a fantastic move. Chicago fans, you should be excited. You have your next coach. Are you going to see growing pains? Absolutely. Johnson is younger than 40, first-time NFL head coach. He's going to have his rookie mistakes. You cannot give up on him after 1 year. I'm very high on Ben Johnson. I can't lie to you. I'm a little sad that the days of speculating of where he's going to go are over, but I give this hiring an A+.